a lot of the girls are saying to me that, all their boyfriend or their ex-boyfriend, the ones that they get with, are the ones that actually approach them. So they find themselves always attracted to narcissistic men, right? Because they find that only narcissistic men attract to them because all their exes turn out to be narcissistic, and they happen to always be the ones that approach them. So they've somehow correlated the narcissistic trait or personality to the guy that would just come up to them and speak to them and open the lines of communication. Now, whoa, sorry. Hello, everyone. I am the dating analyst, and welcome to my channel. Now, today I'm going to be reacting to a lot of concerns I've been getting from ladies. And the concern was the fact that they found that a lot of the guys that were approaching them were very sort of egotistic, very forward. Some would say like they almost didn't respect their boundaries, would just approach them in situations where they were like uninvited. So they're getting, these massive amounts of sort of like alpha sort of gentlemen trying to approach them when really they didn't really solicitate any of that attention at all. It was unsolicited attention that they were receiving. And they say to me, like, why is this always happening? Why are they always having these narcissistic type of gentlemen approaching them? So I'm going to talk about that, ladies, and find out and explain pretty much why, if that's happening to you, a lot of the times you find that a lot of the guys you're speaking to or only approach you are these sort of narcissistic, open, outgoing sort of characteristic sort of gentlemen. Then I'm gonna tell you one reason why this could be the case as to why they only these men start to approach the ladies. So how it works, ladies, is if a girl is single and then she's in, let's say, a social environment, or let's say she's on the train or she's commuting somewhere. Now, in the process of that commute, let's say she's in the vicinity of a guy that she likes, right? So let's say she's on a bus, she's sitting down on the bus, and the guy opposite her happens to be her type, happens to be like what she's looking for, and almost happened to give her eye contact one time when she was getting on. So she sits down, and then the guy's next to her. Now, for the lady that's single now, she's thinking, okay, I might really want this guy to speak to me. So I might look over slightly, give him some slight cues, or we could call them indicators, to tell him, I'm giving him the, ladies give the, like accidentally, you happen to turn that way because you happen to see a flyer on the window at the bus going past. You're like, oh, just looking. Oh, that's nice. You know, that sort of hint for the guy to, see that you've got some sort of interest in him, or you're giving him some sort of okay. So that's how ladies normally give subtle hints for a guy to advance and to make contact with them or try to open a conversation with them. A lot of people call them openers, right? So girls initiate it very subtly through their actions. Now, for the guy, then for the girl in her head, she's thinking, look, I've turned like 3 times now towards this guy, right? I've orientated myself towards him 3 times. I've looked, what more does this guy want? Like, does he not know, like, I've been trying to get him to advance onto me? Because women, and a lot of women I speak to, say that they will not go up to a guy and start opening a conversation. Girls feel that's not their job, which is true. I see their point. A lot of girls find it like more attractive for a guy to come up to them and open the conversation. It sort of like shows dominance. It shows alpha. It shows like this guy. Okay, this guy sees me, likes me, and he took charge. It shows them. It shows a characteristic of a guy that they found attractive. There's an element of attraction that's connected to a guy that's very forward to come up to a girl and start a conversation. So back to the point. So we know that girls find that attractive when guys come up to them and start to talk to them. if they want that guy. Not every guy. Guys, don't be going up there, be going around there approaching every girl, thinking that she wants you to, talk to her because she gave you some subtle hint or she turned towards you. No, no, this is like I'm talking about one situation where women naturally do this, like in a bus. If she wanted that guy to talk to her, she would orientate herself towards him just to show some small indication that, okay, I've looked at you twice, we've caught eye contact a few times, the bus is empty, you should be able to initiate a conversation. You know, I want to get to know you more. So the woman's thinking that, like she's sitting there now. If that guy doesn't initiate the conversation and he keeps looking at her, like overly staring at her, and she can see he's overly staring, but she's like, no, no, I've given you enough signals. You got to come over now. Like now's the time to come over. Um, a lot of the time the guys don't, right? The guys don't, and the reason why the guys don't is the guy's thinking she just didn't give me enough signals, or the guys, at that time didn't feel brave enough, or he has stuff in his mind. He's thinking, what should I do? He maybe overthought the play. It was an easy opening where he could have said to you, "Hi, you're right," or asked you a question that would open the lines of communication. So that happens quite a lot, I think, with the girls. And then these girls get very frustrated because the guy leaves or they leave, and then that nothing happened in them situations. And then what they find is then they're almost at liberty to only talk to the guys that actually advance onto them. And these kind of guys are the ones that would just generally come up to them and start talking. They don't care if they're in a coffee shop, they don't care if they're alone, they don't care if they're in a crowded place, they don't care if they're in an isolated place. These guys see the girl, he thinks, well, I find her attractive, or I find some part of her interesting. I want to talk to her, and then he comes up to her, and then she's like, "Wow, this guy's come up to me nowhere. It's kind of attractive. The fact that he did that, he looks alright. Let me hear him out." So a lot of the girls saying to me that all their boyfriend or their boyfriend, the ones that they get with, are the ones that actually approach them. So they find themselves always attracted to narcissistic men, right? Because they find that only narcissistic men attract to them because all their exes turn out to be narcissistic, and they happen to always be the ones that approach them. So they've somehow correlated the narcissistic trait or personality to the guys that would just come up to them and speak to them and open the lines of communication. Now, I'm not talking about narcissism. There's also the other type of guys. The guys just don't care. They know they've got no shot in the world with the girl, and they just come up to them and they're just rude, they just violate, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, no, what you saying? How are you doing?" Something along them lines. No, not talking about them guys. Them guys that just shoot their shot and they don't care. Like these guys, I think they work on a ratio like sort of strategy where they feel like if I go up to 20 girls, at least one of them can give you a number, which is quite ill formed. I think a lot of dating sort of coaches advise guys, it's the ratio you got to keep approaching. I don't think that's not a method that I teach at all. I find it's better if you teach a skill set, sort of like teach people language pattern and teach people how to approach a girl, like different openers, which is actually softer, almost like the indirect approach rather than the direct approach. I don't think a lot of girls like that. If you go straight up, if you see them, you need to make a beeline for them, walk straight up to them, like, hey, you're coming with me. I think girls will be intimidated by that. I don't, some scenarios that's necessary. I think some social events that's necessary, nightclubs where they allow you to be more forward. They want that sort of, they encourage that sort of behavior. But I'm talking about like let's say day game, commuting, public places. People around. You don't know the person. You've got limited time. Time's limited, so you're gonna have to make that move within a certain time frame, which always is quite nervous for the guys. Well, generally speaking. so so back to the point, girls. So you say you only get attracted to narcissistic personality, narcissistic guys because they're the only ones that are approaching you. The reason why, girls, is this is why men are very hesitant to approach girls. So women can understand this. This is so. What happens is single girls, right, when they're on the bus or when they're trying to signal guys, they give particular cues, like I said, they turn, they orient themselves towards the person, they look away, they look again, they might smile, they might get eye contact. And these signs should be exhibited from single girls, right? Because that's how single girls attract guys to try to advance on them. But what's happened is now we have a bunch of girls, right, that are not single and they're in relationships and they are not even available. But because some of them are either not happy in a relationship or whether they just want some confident boosters or they just, they just want, uh, I don't understand, I don't know, they just want more attention from men. They just like that. So what these girls do is, say they're on the bus, right? Same scenario, but this girl's taken. She sits on the bus and she sees the guy next to her. Same situation, same scenario. She finds him attractive. She's thinking, I might want some attention. So what she does the same signaling as as a single girl. So she will do that, you know, looking, orientating herself towards that gentleman, right? And she's doing it almost out of from a position of ego of just, what can I say? I wouldn't say ego, but they just want to maybe confident boosters. She's doing a confident booster. Let me see if this guy's going to talk to me. Like, let me see if I'm attractive enough for this guy to talk to me. Right. And that's her only motive. She's got no interest in giving this guy anything. The guy can say the best thing, the perfect thing. She's got no interest in it. But what she does is she signals the same way as a single girl. So her signals or cues to that guy to advance on her are the same as a single girl. So what happens is when this girl is keep orientating herself towards this gentleman and be giving him eye contact, maybe smiling, and then when that guy gets up and comes to talk to her, right? He's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to her. She's like, no. And then the guy's left like, what the hell? Like, you've been looking at me the whole time. You've been signaling me. I come up and talk to you, and you don't want to talk to me. And the guy's like scratching his head. Or sometimes the girl talks to him, and he's having a conversation, and then she's like, oh yeah, sorry, I got a man. And he's like, wait, you got a man? Why would you do all that signaling and encourage me to come over, talk to you, and you got a man? Like, that's weird. Like, so the guy still tries to, oh, do you want to get your number? She's like, no, I'm not giving my number. And walks out. And the girl walks out. She leaves the bus. She's confident. She's had her fix of, confidence boost. She's had that. And the guy's left thinking, what is going on? Right? That girl was signaling me hard. So the next time a girl signals him, and maybe this girl genuinely single, he's like, I'm not going over there. All these girls that are signaling me are not even interested. They're just doing it out of fun. So this is the problem, the disconnect between men and women when we're talking about approaching each other. What's happened is the girls in relationships, or the girls that are not taken, are giving the same signals as if this as the single girls. Sorry, I'm saying a lot of S words here, right? Trying to keep up. So we've got a bunch of single girls. So shout out to single ladies, all my single ladies, right? And when they want a guy to approach, they give a certain signal to him, right? They do an indicator to him to show that I'm interested. Well, that indicator is the same indicator that girls that are in relationships do to guys. So all these guys are like thinking, I'm getting mixed signals because this girl's looking at me the same way the other girl did, but that girl had a boyfriend, right? So the guys are more hesitant now to actually act on these sort of indications that girls give them, the indications of interest. So the guys thinking, wait a minute, I don't know now. I've chatted to like 3-4 girls that's giving me these clear-cut signals, and when I spoke to them, they got boyfriends and I'm not interested. So you're thinking, the next girl to give me that signal, I'm not interested. And I think that's what's happening. Now, girls don't know this, but guys are talking about it all the time, thinking, why was this girl talking to me? Why was she looking at me like that? And she had a man. It makes no sense. And the guys figure, okay, yeah, she just wanted a confidence boost, which some girls are. Girls in long-term relationships, if they're not getting attention in their relationship, if their boyfriends are not making them feel loved, the boyfriends are, falling out of shape or, I don't know, getting comfortable in a relationship, then they're not attentive to the woman's needs. She's going to naturally start to seek attention outside the relationship. And that naturally starts to creep in when she's commuting and she's in the presence of guys that she could be attracted to. She might start giving signals to test if she's still got it, see if these guys still attracted to her. So unfortunately, girls, that's why pretty much a lot of the guys that are approaching you, maybe these narcissistic ones that are going straight in, rather than the nice guys that would actually respect your boundary, that will come and have a conversation with you, because these guys have been thinking, wait a minute, I've been getting mixed signals from girls in relationships that as the same as the girls out of relationships. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm saying is, if a single girl's here, the signals that she gives to a guy to say, come approach me, is the exact same signals as a girl that's in a relationship, right? The girl in a relationship gives the exact same signals as a single girl for the guy to approach. But when the guy approaches the girl in a relationship, she's just doing it out of confidence. She just wants confidence, haha, no, bye-bye. Where this girl who's single, she really wants this guy to approach so she can give the number to. So the guys are like, which one is this girl signal? Is this girl single? Or is she in a relationship? I don't know. I've chatted to like 3-4 girls that give me the same signals, and all 3 of them within relationships. So I might not take my chance. So again, this is only what I found to be true in these situations. To want to give girls a bit of clarity why maybe the nice guys are not approaching you as much is because of this element. Could be. To me, this is what I found to be quite present when I talk to a lot of the guys, and then I talk to a lot of the girls, and I'm finding, wait a minute, what's happening here? And this is what I figured out myself. And it could not be true. It could be true. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll be doing a lot more videos coming up about this interpersonal relationships and see if I can help everyone understand them better. So on that note, I'm going to leave you. So take care of yourselves and each other. Right? They were they was with a person for a certain amount of time, and they believed they was going to be with that person forever. They believed that's the only person that really loved them. They believe that person cared for them more than anyone else. They then start to have these thoughts that, you know, no one else would ever love me like that person did. And it's really them thoughts that actually keep the person grounded in the past, right? They believe that no one else is gonna love me like that. Or do you know what? I gave my all to that one person. I gave everything I had, right? I love that person so much. I gave them everything, and it wasn't enough. They still hurt me. They still lied to me, and they still broke my trust. And by doing that, they actually broke mine.